I love this day. This is always a really great day. I look forward to this more than any other day in the year. It's tough because I love our first day and I love graduation. But for me, this is the most special day that we have all year because we get to look out and see people that have been part of this program accomplishing huge things in their lives. And so it's about celebrating all of those accomplishments. So before I start talking more about that, I want to say thank you to a few people that came to be part of this with us, and that's a big deal. So we've got Neva Hutchinson, Diane Watson, who are two of our great board members who, and would you ladies, yeah, thank you. And thank you, board members that spend an enormous amount of time for no compensation helping Chemeketa be Chemeketa and guiding the direction of our institution. And the support that all of us get from having a great board is huge. And then Julie Huckestein, our president, who is pulled in about 18,000 directions, but loves to see students and their success. And so she made the time to come to be part of this with all of us. So thanks for being part of this with us. And then I have to embarrass my wife and recognize her because, go ahead, stand up. My wife is wonderful, and I get to do what I do because she is a huge part in my life and helps me all the time. So, so thank you for being here too. But this is really about you guys. This is about the people here who have persevered and who've overcome things, and that would be just about every one of you. This doesn't happen. We're celebrating people graduating, transferring to four-year schools, getting fantastic scholarships, accomplishing huge things that's not what's normal in your family. Low-income first-generation students, students with disabilities, it's not normal to be doing this. The vast majority don't, and you're doing it. And that's worth celebrating. And so tonight we're going to spend some time honoring you guys that have done that. And when we get all done with awards and watching a video and all of that, then we're going to go eat some dessert and give you an opportunity with an open mic to, say anything that you really want to say. So no further ado, I want to start out with honoring a couple of people that have really done above and beyond. So yes, this is about you students, and we're going to get to you. But I want to start out with a couple of staff members here at Chemeketa who have gone above and beyond and who've really done things that make our program work and help you guys get where you want to go. So first I want to call up Adrian Aravalo. Adrian, so this certificate says, in appreciation for your dedication to the success of Chemeketa's TRiO students, and I should say TRiO and CCP students, but that you can't capture on one of these what people do. So Adrian is, he's one of the people who makes everything work and literally makes everything work. When I come to work, Adrian has been in our lab sometimes for a couple of hours, putting everything back in order. Everything that doesn't still work that you would hope is going to work, and when you guys show up to the lab, it does work. But that's because Adrian is in there making it work. And we have processes like you have to put in a request to have things done and all of that. Adrian's one of the people that will actually do it, help fix something, even if you haven't put in a request, but he's got a couple minutes to help with something, he'll just do it. And that's the kind of person he is, and I'm just thankful every time I interact with Adrian. It's he's helping, he's finding a way to make something happen for us, and so I want to really thank him for all the years. I've tried to do this several times, he always says no until I finally got him to come this year, so I have to make him stand here as long as I can. So thank you. Okay, the next person I want to invite up is Toby Wagner. So Toby, if you'd come up. Yeah, some of you have been lucky enough to have Toby as your math instructor. And Toby was willing this year. We started a brand new thing in our program that we called our math initiative. For how many of you would you say math is your #1 challenge that you've faced academically? Okay, that's a big deal for a lot of people. And so we want to make sure people actually get through that math. And so we set up a process to have people go through with the same instructor from 70 to 95 to 111. And we had to find somebody who was willing to take on having the same cohort of students go through their class and try some new things. And Toby was willing to do that and stepped up to help with that. And he didn't just step up for that, but he came to events, and joined us at, potlucks with students, and really was part of helping our students succeed. And we don't have our final numbers yet, unless he wants to cancel finals and everything. But we know that the students that have been through his class are succeeding at a higher rate than they have in our old model, right? So it's helping, and because he's willing to kind of go that extra mile. And so I want to thank him for being willing and for jumping in and trying something new with us this year. So thanks, Toby.
Thank you.
And the last person that we're recognizing this year isn't able to be here, but Kate Haruff, who is one of our people in financial aid that, again, goes way above and beyond for us. She's always helping our students figure out how to get work study or solve their, whatever their issue is in financial aid. She's one of those people that you can always count on and goes above and beyond, so I wanted to recognize her here. So, thanks to all of the people, there's dozens others that we could have come up here to honor that help this happen. So just appreciate all of the people at Chemeketa that make the success of all of us possible. So now it's time to recognize some students, though. So what I want you to do is hold your applause. We're going to have the advisors come up, and they're going to give certificates out to the students that they work with. And if you just hold your applause till they all get up here, and then we'll give them a nice round of applause.
Gym class is paying off.
Yeah.
Able to get that out. All right, guys. So if I mispronounce anybody's name, I apologize, but sometimes it happens, and I had a speech impediment as a kid, so that's what I blame. Can I hand this to you? Thank you. So my first one is for Summer Cropper for maintaining a 4.0 GPA. Congratulations. Yep, we'll have you just start lining up. Cindy Gayton for maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA. I knew I saw you. That's you. Delaney Heitman for maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA. There she is. Congratulations. All right, this is a lot. Tiffany Martinez for receiving a Willamette Academic Scholarship, earning an Associates of Arts Organ Transfer degree, transferring to Willamette University and maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA. Rebecca Mello for receiving a Craig Clark Scholarship, a PTK Scholarship, and Linfield's Merit Award Scholarship for earning an Associates of Arts Organ Transfer degree, transferring to Linfield School of Nursing, and maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA. Nina Orlov for maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA. Are you in here? Jackie Paul for receiving a Ford Restart Scholarship, transferring to Oregon State University and maintaining a 4.0 GPA. Congratulations, Jackie. Amanda Peacock for also receiving a Ford Scholarship and maintaining a 4.0 GPA. Man, you guys are all awesome. Josh Whalen for maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA. Congratulations. Katie Wickman for receiving a Gretchen Shute Scholarship, transferring to Oregon State University, and maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA. Danny Wiles for receiving a Child Care Scholarship and maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA. Thank you. Denny Ramirez for earning an Associates of Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to the Linfield School of Nursing. We've got two of you. You guys are going to have to study together. Congratulations. Do you want to jump in with some of yours? Sandra Gonzalez for earning an Associates of Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to Western. Are you here?
All right, the certificate recognition goes to Karen Leggett for earning a PEO Sisterhood Scholarship for 2015-2016 and the Exempt and Excite Scholarships for 2016-2017.
Haley Reynolds for earning an Associates of Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to Oregon State University.
The certificate recognition goes to Chow Gwen for outstanding GPA, earning an Associate of Arts Organ Transfer degree, transferring to Oregon State University, and earning the Gretchen Shute Strengths and Diversity Scholarship in 2015-2016, and the Shemeketa Emeritus Association Scholarship and OSU Provost Scholarship for 2016-2017.
Brandon Santa for earning an Associate's Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to Western Oregon University.
Certificate of recognition goes to Claudia Caratachea for an outstanding GPA.
Edgar Ramirez for earning an Associates of Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to Oregon State University.
Okay, Renee Chihuahua for earning an Associates of Science Organ Transfer degree in Business and transferring to the University of Oregon.
Karina Solorio, see, that's one of the words I may have messed up, for earning an Associates of Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to Western Oregon University.
Roberto Oran for earning an Associate of Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to Willamette University and earning the Merit Scholarship for 2016-2017.
Lucy Bursino for earning an Associates of Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to Western Oregon University.
Zacharias Ross for, well, I don't think he's here. Okay. So for earning an Electronic Engineering Technology degree, an Industrial Electronic degree, and the Renewable Energy Management degree, and earning the Paul and Carol Manka First Generation Scholarship in 2015-2016.
Lorena Hernandez for earning an Associates of Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to California State University, Fresno. All right, can we give one big round of applause for all of our award winners?
Amazing group. Good job, everybody. Okay, so every year we like to recognize and honor one of our alumni. students, somebody who, like yourselves, has been a part of the TRiO program at Chemeketa and who has graduated, transferred, and currently working in their career field. So this year, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Joel Gisbert. Joel was part of the TRiO program from 2009 to 2012. During this time, I got to know Joel and work with him as his TRiO advisor. One of the very first things that was apparent to me about Joel was the determination he possessed to make a better life for himself. At the time, he may have not known what his major was or what his transfer school would be, but he knew that he would graduate from college. That was very clear. Joel took advantage of many of the TRiO services on campus, including TRiO classes, college fairs, campus visits. He also went above and beyond and founded the Arts and Mentoring Club, now currently known as the Chemeketa Service Leaders. He also tutored his fellow TRiO peers in math, and he was a peer assistant in the Advising and Counseling Center. Joel graduated with Associates of Arts transfer degree and transferred to Portland State University. There he earned a Bachelor's of Social Work degree, followed immediately by a Master's of Social Work degree. He currently works in Portland with at-risk youth affected by poverty, family instability, and homelessness. He is making a difference in his community. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to award Joel Gisbert the 2016 TRiO Achievers Making a Difference Award.
Hello, everybody. I'm honored to be here. Good evening. I don't know where to start. I guess like Mike Evans said, it's a miracle people like me do make it out here, you know. I have a lot of friends that I grew up with here in Salem that can't say the same. So, I did a lot of this to get my education, to definitely give back. Before TRiO, I remember being pushed out of the, McKay High School out here. During the 90s, there was a lot of educational injustice. We weren't being treated right. There was a lot of discrimination. And that definitely affected my confidence level, especially in academia. I didn't feel confident with writing, doing math, or, stuff like that. And so as a racial minority, it was definitely really hard to see myself as a professional or someone that was capable of getting an education. However, that changed for me. Got my GED. David Hardesty was one of my mentors there at the GED program at Chemeketa. And they did their best to get me through financial aid. And at one time I wanted to be an electrician and get into a trade. I grew up working class, Mexican. And so, I thought, I'm just gonna get into a trade and be an electrician. And they're like, no, man, you're college material, man, get in there. I'm like, nah, that ain't for people like me. And they're like, so anyways, with their support, they introduced to me the TRiO application. And that's why I met Liliana. And so, they did the whole interview process. And, they gave me a phone call a week later to let me know, hey, you've been accepted into the TRiO program. That's when my life changed. Literally, my life changed when I hit the TRiO program. I remember taking the college success class, which is like one of the requirements. But I was scared to death when I was getting videotaped, and it was like one of the finals. And then Mike Evans, I remember after that, I saw him at the sandwich bar there at the cafeteria. And he was like, hey man, you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna be successful. And here I am. I listened to what he told me, and here I am, I'm successful, right? So, I definitely gained a lot of confidence through the TRiO program. They helped me navigate through the, educational system. Liliana was great support for me. Ended up connecting me to the peer assistant position downstairs. And so then that's kind of where I started developing my professional identity. I got out of the gas station job, I got into an office job, and for me it was kind of hard to make that transformation because I never really saw myself. But thank God to the, the staff that were open to diversity, helped me feel welcome. And so before you know it, here I am, I'm professionally helping students with services. And that's when it dawned on me that, I could do this in a professional job, which is social work. And so then that's kind of when I, was really getting my application materials ready, and then eventually got accepted into the BSW program there at PSU. And then I think a lot of my success was also, I wasn't a follower, I'm a leader. Meaning, some people after school, they go play video games, they take off. I would stay on campus, and I was involved with the civic engagement projects. And I was definitely there, building up my reference, my professional references, my resume, and all that stuff, like, it's helping me nowadays. So with that said, that's how I made the transformation. It was hard. It wasn't easy. There was hurdles in the way. But I'm here to tell you, if I can do it, y'all can do it. And so, I got much love for, my people of color, people with disabilities, people that come from poverty, because at the end of the day, we're on that same level. And people like us do make it, and we have a story to tell. So now, what I do now is I work at Rosemary Anderson High School. It's a alternative education high school in North Portland. And here I am doing case managing and youth counseling with gang, trauma, and adjudicated youth. And so, I'm doing resumes and I'm helping them out and I'm making a difference, which feels really good. But my concluding thoughts would be to never forget this. Even though you get a master's degree, life can be great, but never forget where you come from. Because, you're out here and I might have a master's degree or whatever, but at work, I'm still Joel. I still got to gain more skills. And that's one thing I'm here to tell y'all, is that you can't teach a person how to get heart. You can teach skills, but heart's where it's at for me. And one more message too. People like us, we go through stuff, right? And sometimes we got these lingering ghosts. That's what I call them. Shake them off, every day, do what you got to do, whatever it is, exercise, spirituality, keep practicing daily, because this journey is lifelong. Never give up, believe in yourself, don't be a follower, and take lead in all areas in your life. Thank you.
Okay, so this year we are lucky enough that we actually have 2 TRiO alumni achievers. So I'd like to bring up Scott Salazar. So Scott actually graduated from Chemeketa in 2012, right? With an ASOT. He's like, maybe, I don't know. And transferred to the University of Oregon. And he recently came back and was visiting the office and just telling us how much he wanted to give back to the community that he came from and to other TRiO students who are currently in the program, which is just, please, everybody do that when you guys graduate and do awesome things. Come back. We want to see you. So I'm just going to hand this over to Scott, who can tell you a little bit about his journey and give you this award. And I also want to present real quick. Oh, you disappeared too quickly, but we have this beautiful plaque that you guys both have. Yes. So present that to you guys real quickly. So congratulations.
How's this sound? Good? Here? Right about there? My name is Scott. I'm not coming back from the U of O. I'm coming back, might not have been clear, coming back to the United States. I've been gone in Europe, the Netherlands. It's the little place that contains Amsterdam, if you're not familiar with it. I was there for 2 years. I was completing a master's degree in international business. And your message was fantastic. I really love what you were saying. I really identify with a lot of the challenges and things you were talking about. I'm also a first-generation student, but I'm also non-traditional in other ways. I started going to university at 22. After joining the military for 4 years, some things kind of changed in my life, and I had to pivot. So I would say one of the pieces of advice from my story that if you can take away would be fantastic is that have plans, but get ready to throw them out the window and keep moving forward, but always keep moving forward. And that's one lesson I learned early on when I entered Chemeketa. I actually entered and wanted to be a paramedic. I decided I wanted to be a fire jumper. And I got myself in a little bit of trouble. So I got myself in some legal trouble. So things can happen personally. And that was no longer really going to happen. There was no real possibility for me to do that anymore. So I had to pivot. And I realized what can I do? I can't really make a decision. I don't know what in life I want to do, but I need to continue getting an education because I have nothing else. So I decided I'm going to do the thing that requires least decision. I'm going to do business. So perfect. I can do anything I want from there. No one, yeah, I do business, whatever. Or I could have been a lawyer, but I figured this is a better route to go. So I started doing that. I ended up getting my transfer degree, went to the U of O, and decided, all right, now I really need to make a decision. I really need to decide something. So I put it off naturally and continued business. And I came to the end of my degree, finally successfully completing, but I started getting towards the last 2 months, really getting to the end of it. And I was like, okay, where am I going? And at that time, I was really impressed with entrepreneurship, Silicon Valley, and I really liked tech startups. So I decided I'm going to move down to Stanford, I'm going to get myself a job, had one lined up with Yelp, I'm ready to go. And I saw an ad, just flashing like the screens outside here. And this is where the second lesson that I can say that if you could take it away, it'd be fantastic, is to take a chance. So this thing was for a business competition. And I decided, you know what? I'm not the brightest cat around, but I think I can go and win this. So I went, participated in the competition. I won. The prize happened to be a full tuition scholarship for a master's degree in the Netherlands for the only private university there. It is the birthplace of things like Shell, ING, Albertine. There's some pretty big companies there if you're familiar with Europe at all. So I went there, took my chance, went to Europe. I had lived in Europe prior while I was in the Army. So I decided I'm going to go back to Europe. I'm going to go ahead and put off making decisions once again. I'm going to go continue studying business. So I did that. I finished, came to the end of that master's degree, and decided it's time to finally get a job right after I put off making that decision for 2 more months. So I decided to travel India, Myanmar, Thailand, to go on a soul-searching quest, because at that point I really needed to decide what is it that I really care about. And like you, I care about the community, and that's one of the reasons I reached out to Casey when I came back, because TRiO helped provide me with some resources when I first started my journey, when I wasn't so clear as to what I was going to be doing. But they gave me support, they helped me chart out a roadmap, and that's part of the planning phase. Not that it always stayed the same, but it at least gave me something at the end of the tunnel to shoot for. And that makes all the difference, because you're going to come up against problems. You're going to come up against adversity. And the thing is, you're going to want to give up. I wanted to give up because of financial reasons, personal reasons. You know, I lost my way spiritually, emotionally, whatever it may have been. But you know what? I had a goal. I had it on the wall, and I knew, all right, I might not be making it on my own right now, but my family, my mother, was a source of my inspiration, and I had my family and friends. My girlfriend, she's not here at the moment. And those people really helped me push through those rough patches. But goals really, really matter. Be ready to shift if you have to, but surround yourself around resources like TRiO and people like Casey, your family, and keep pushing forward, because if you really want to get something, it's on you to go out there and get it. But there's people out there willing to help you, so go find them. That's all I got to say. Thanks.
Okay, so how many of you have ever worked this year in a resource center? You guys go in, use the computers, and print. Great stuff, huh? So if you have been to our resource center, if you have been to our CAP office where you check in for appointments and stuff like that, it is extremely likely that you have been greeted with a beautiful smile. Is that true? Yes. And that has been possible because of our CAP assistants. So I'm gonna just ask our CAP assistants to please stand up, because I wanna recognize the spectacular job that they are doing in TRiO and CCP. So come on guys, stand up. I see Renee, I know Noemi is here. Who else? Angel is here. Okay, Brandon, Lori. So thank you, Desiree, Rebecca. Yes. Thank you so much, guys, for everything that you have done this year. It has been such an amazing year with a wonderful group, and thank you for contributing to everybody's success. Thank you.
Great. Also working in our lab in the TRiO program are our TRiO tutors. I know we have one here. If you're a TRiO tutor, stand up. Great. We've got Melinda and Chow, Summer. Wonderful. Now, I'm going to talk a bit about you, but you won't have to stand. You can sit down now. Our tutors are a little bit different than the regular tutors. We have great Chemeketa tutors, but our TRiO tutors are a cut above. They understand what it is to have moved 12 times in 7 school years. They understand students that have holes in their mathematics. And sometimes when they're tutoring, they'll see that, oh, the student doesn't have the foundation to understand this problem. It's like, there's no foundation. So our tutors will stop. They'll fill in the hole, build the foundation that had been left undone, and then move forward. Our tutors are excellent. They're special. Give a hand for our tutors. Thanks.
Okay, now it's time for more awards recognizing these amazing students that are here tonight. So I want to invite, again, remind you to please hold your applause if possible so we can get through these and get to dessert soon. So Lori Cruz Esquivel, for receiving an Oscar Gleason Presidential Scholarship, a bilingual teacher's scholarship project, earning an Associate of Arts Oregon transfer degree and transferring to Western Oregon University.
All right, I would like to recognize Angel Barron for keeping and maintaining a 3.5 GPA or better.
Okay. I think Vitaly's going to be really proud by me reading his name. Vitaly Dmitrichuk. Yes. For maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA.
All right, Cynthia Bevan for earning an Associate of Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to a university.
Maria Garcia Hernandez for earning an Associate of Arts Oregon transfer degree and transferring to a university.
All right, Trina Brown for maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA.
Priscilla Narcio for receiving the Latino Student Scholarship, the Oregon State University Scholarship for Public Health, earning an Associate of Arts Oregon transfer degree and transferring to Oregon State University.
And Desiree Collins for earning an Associate of Arts Oregon transfer degree and transferring to Pacific University.
Ana Ortega for earning an Associate of Arts Oregon transfer degree, transferring to Portland State University and being admitted to the social work program at Portland State University.
And Jessica Galvin for earning an Associate of Arts Oregon transfer degree, transferring to Oregon State University, and maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA.
Noemi Rodriguez for earning an Associate of Arts Oregon transfer degree and transferring to Western Oregon University.
Greg Hiltz for maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA.
Eric Phillips for earning an Associate of Applied Science in CAD/CAM and maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA.
And Brandy Len for earning an Associate of Arts Organ transfer degree, transferring to Portland State University and also in their Bachelor's of Social Work program, and maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA.
Don't know if Itati Guillen is here, but we want to recognize her for earning an Associate of Applied Science degree and maintaining a 3.5 or better GPA.
Steven Subi for earning an Associate of Applied Science in Computer Systems and Information Technology. And Willadine Wright for earning an Associate of Arts Organ Transfer degree and transferring to the University of Oregon. I don't know if I saw her here. Okay, all right. Yes, let's give a big round of applause for all of these awardees. Congratulations.
All right. Well, I really feel lucky to have the opportunity to introduce Mark Duke, which is kind of fun because Mark used to be in our program as one of our advisors. And so he unfortunately left us a couple of years ago, but he came back tonight because I asked him if he would be willing to share some of his story, because I think it's a great example of what do you do when life doesn't go as you're thinking. We've heard some people talking about, changing directions and all of that, and the idea of kind of resiliency. And so Mark is going to share his story. Come on up, Mark. And so thank you for agreeing to come and share with us.
All right, I got props, but I left my bike at home. But I got my helmet, all right? Can you all hear me okay in the back? Okay, excellent. So I feel really humbled tonight to share this this evening with all of you. And thank you, Mike, for the gracious welcome introduction. And I just feel really humbled to be up here and to share the microphone with Hoel, who I admire so much and always thinking about you, what you're up to. Glad you're still up there in Rose City doing good. It's good. And Scott Salzer, I think I remember you back 4 or 5 years ago. Is that right? You don't know? Okay. Well, if you were with Casey, it had to be during my time. All right. Well, then I kind of remember you a little bit. But your story was pretty inspiring. And so thank you for sharing. I'm putting together some thoughts. It's so good to see everybody here. I'm, again, a little choked up, but I love my bike. I'm sharing my story about my bike, and here I am. On January 1st, just last year, 2015, my bike ride that evening was nothing out of the ordinary. I just watched a Duck game, and they won again. I wasn't drinking. At least I felt pretty darn good with all the amount of water I was drinking. But it was a typical Oregon dusk at night with night coming as fast as a light switch on January 1st. As a typical Oregon, it was a little bit wet. The truck in front of me did a U-turn while I was on my bike, and I quickly swerved to miss the collision. The truck lights blinded me, and the next moment, my life had changed in ways that I had never really envisioned. I hit an aluminum road barricade, those things that keep people from driving off cliffs and such. They're not good to face plant on. So I hit that pretty darn hard. My head was tumbling, my face first, and I had a whiplash in my neck, and I lay in my own blood from a badly lacerated nose, lip, and chin going all the way down. In my adrenaline state and a flight versus fright mode, I decided I need to get home. So I got on my bike and I rode home. Didn't think about calling anybody on my cell phone. I just needed to get home. I was out there laying in a field and I needed to get home. That's all I knew. There's no one around. It was dark. But it felt like someone hit me really hard in the back of the neck, like someone just pummeled me. I'm nothing special. I'm a farm kid. I'm one of 10 kids. I grew up pretty dirt poor. I won't say poorest of the poor, but hand-me-down, second-hand shoes. I got my first pair of new shoes in 9th grade. That was cool. We learned how to sew little patches in my pants. But anyway, so I'm just a farm kid who used to bring cows to Salem to show at the state fair. so my heart's still here. But anyway, my neck was painful also. I guess I mentioned that story because I felt like getting hit in the neck with a heavy bale of hay for those who have worked in farms. Those bales are getting bigger and bigger, and I remember once getting smacked in the head or in the neck with one of those things. It really hurt. But after extensive imaging, I guess I ended up going to OHSU. Yeah, I did. It was turned the accident left me with a spinal concussion, 5 broken neck vertebrae, and a loss of about half of my nose. Role reversal had occurred. I was no longer the therapist. I work in physical therapy. The advisor or the teacher, my normal role, now is simply the patient lying naked except for a thin paper gown. Others had to turn me, wipe my butt, and clean me. I was poked with needles, strung up with IVs, and surrounded by lights in my face. I was truly demoralized and humbled. As a patient, I journeyed for the next 2 weeks to the point of accepting the road that had chosen me. I did not choose this road of being a patient. I did, however, have to learn to accept the road that I was on. I had to allow others to provide goodness and kindness to me during my recovery. I learned to say yes to the daily visitors, to care providers who helped me, and those who came to my home, helped me with paying bills and donning and doffing this wonderful collar that I grew to appreciate. Anybody had to wear these things for a while? Oh, there's one. All right, buddy. I feel your pain. Another one. You can raise your hand. Part of a unique group. So I wore this thing for about 3 months. I had to learn to get used to it, not turning my head. But I did experience, I think, a real deepening of spirituality and self-talk. I learned to be the patient with, and to be as patient as myself as a patient as I was with my patients. I did not question the work ahead of me. I had to get better. This was my daily mantra. Every day, feeling less sick and having more energy was very uplifting. I needed to get better, and that was that. 2 memories of the 2 worst days. One was my second surgery. It lasted for about 7 hours. I really questioned the determination of my doctor and nurse to get me home that night. I was nauseous, unable to stand on my own, and unable to go to the bathroom. I was told, yes, you'll have a miserable night, but you will get better. This was an understatement. I had soaring 9 out of 10 neck pain and face pain. I could not wait for the next pain pill, which my family and partner gave me every 2 hours. I got no sleep and thought I was in hell. It was after that second surgery that I decided I'd throw away those narcotics and live on extra strength Tylenol to manage my pain. I hated the addiction feeling and the soaring pain. I hated the idea of the hell of addiction to narcotics, even though I was on them for only 5-7 days, I think. But I would fight this with all my mental energy I had, and I did it. I never again took a narcotic for pain. I decided to put my mind over matter and to live with pain. And I do this to this day. I manage chronic neck pain from my accident, taking nothing except Tylenol on occasion, generally when I get on my bike and ride for 70 miles, which is the next part of my story. The second worst experience was in my kitchen. I like to cook, and the freedom it allows me to create and be self-sufficient to do things. After having others and my partner cook for me for a couple weeks, I decided I was ready to cook my own. Heck with it. So while cutting vegetables, the knife slipped and almost took off my thumb. I also knocked off the bowl of vegetables on the floor, and the kitchen was a disaster. But I used my own first aid knowledge and to stop the bleeding. It's all about hitting that little artery or vein and put pressure on it. It really does work. But I lay there dizzy from the blood loss and being down on the ground. I really was in tears. I cursed and prayed, and I cursed and prayed, but I got the courage to get up. I was lucky. The cup wasn't deep enough to require an ER visit. I was determined to take care of myself. I'm pretty stubborn that way. But I was very vigilant not to get an infection. I had a lot of antibiotic creams from all my face stuff. So I got up and I moved on. But however, the next month was really hard with those facial reconstruction surgeries and a visit with the orthopedist that really reiterated the reality of my neck fractures would take up to a year to even heal well, and it would take longer to thoroughly heal. The hard collar would need to be worn until 24/7 until May. I had to learn to be patient, accept my situation, embrace this thing, and embrace the road that I chose to me. I actually learned to love this thing because it was keeping my head on. It kept me from having a spinal cord injury from being in a wheelchair and from being or having para or quadriplegia. My case would probably be quadriplegia, but thankfully I didn't have to be on that road. But I knew this too will pass. It was going to pass. I was going to get better. So after about 45 days of injury, I decided to intensify my exercise training. I got on that stationary bike, and I rode that thing 60 minutes a day. The heck with it. Doctor said it was okay to ride that bike. I'm going to ride it. I just aren't going to move. So I kept those spine precautions, listening to my doctor. But after the third round of imaging, he's going, "What's going on? Your face is healing better than it's supposed to. Your scars were flattening." My scars were flattening, and they were becoming less obvious. So at 9 weeks, I got some more x-rays, and the news was really good. A strong bone formation was occurring. The calluses where the bones were broken. And the bones that they thought were never going to mend again were mending. They were mending really well. In fact, my surgeon said they were mending beautifully. So I graduated from this thing, hooray. That was in April. And I got onto this baby, soft collar, all right? So I could finally take this thing off and lay down flat and shave my neck, which was really cool. I don't like facial hair. It doesn't look that good for those who work with me anyway. But I got the okay to work out even higher intensity. I got the okay to get a haircut, which was pretty good too. So I started a water exercise program for those who laugh at water exercise and think, well, those are just for people that have 1 foot in the grave. You're full of baloney, because it really works. I actually got to move and build up my heart rate and build up my endurance, build up my stamina. And it felt liberating to actually move my arms and legs so freely. So I really used what I taught my patients in aquatic therapy. So, but I was really stunned how weak I was, even though I thought I was doing all the right stuff. And I just worked hard and got short of breath. And when I get ready to fall over, I decided I was enough exercise for the day. Although falling in the water is pretty good. You're okay when you fall in the water. So 13, 14 weeks after my injury, they showed more neck formation. Sorry if my dates are a little wrong. Neck movements, restrictions were starting to be lifted. I could start weaning off of this thing. That was in April-ish, I guess. Yeah, sounds about right. So I could take this thing off 1 hour a day, kind of progressing. I met my physical therapist for the first time, who was just excellent. Those who know me, I did all my research. I interviewed him. You know, is this your thing? I talked to this person. He's the best. I want the best. Talked to his boss. He's the best. So I really got the best. This guy was amazing. And if there's a blessing, if anything, it was living so close to OHSU and being around the specialists. They're really the best of the best. Those people up there know what they're doing. I hope you've had a good experience. If you haven't, I'm sorry, but my experience up there is just incredible, all the way through. So my first question was, when's can I ride my bike again? And he goes, let's wait. You need to move your neck first. So I slowly got off this puppy and began to actually start moving my neck. I was so stiff, couldn't move it at all. My arm range of motion was about up to here, pretty limited. But he kept saying, well, what do you want to do? I want to get back to taking care of patients. I want to get back to teaching. I want to get back to advising students. I want to get back on my bike. And he just worked with me for about 3 months. It was excellent. But you need neck motion to ride a bike. You need neck motion to drive. For those that are doing that without neck motion, hats off to you, but I don't know how you do it. But I definitely want to get my bike, and I decided my old bike, I needed to get rid of it. A lot of bad jujus on that thing. So I thought I cleaned all the blood off of it. I mean, it was so bloody. Think of the movie Carrie or all your horror films that many of you probably love to see. I mean, this bike was so bloody. I don't want to make you sick, but I thought I did an okay job. My mechanic goes, we need to clean more blood off this thing if you want to sell it. So he helped me clean all the blood off, and I got it sold in 5 days. So that puppy's down the road. But I had to buy a new bike, because that was my motivation. So I got that new bike. That day came to ride that bike again in July, after 7 months of my accident. I got the clearance to ride that bike again. So what did I do? I rounded up 5 of my good physical therapy friends and other friends, my nephew, got on my bike, clipped it on like you're supposed to. Make sure to protect my skull, tighten it. So in less than a month, I was riding 75 miles again. So I've been asked a few times how this experience changed me. For one, I learned it's okay to cry. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign, I think, of some acceptance. And really, there's a stage that goes through with disability. And one of those stages is, eventually getting to a point of acceptance. But one of it is grieving. You lose part of your face and lose your quality of life. You really have a loss, really a lot of loss. And I grieve the loss so much, but now I can really more identify with my patients and what they tell me, what they're going through, and being disabled. The lesson I've learned, I think, really well was to have greater empathy and a greater reflective perspective on individual journeys of my patients and family, friends, and people I know. So my final thing is how to do resilience, but how to do it well, part 1. There is an end here. I know dessert is out there. You guys earn your dessert, but hold on a second. I'm not putting myself out there as a poster child for overcoming obstacles. Everyone's situation is unique and very personal. But I think the lesson 1 is build a community. Do that now. Don't wait till after your accident or something bad happens. Start doing it now. And start giving a little bit. It's not always comfortable, but get involved in your community. In this case, get involved with Chemeketa. It can be so simple. Donate a can of food to the food pantry. They need it. Help clean up after event after tonight. Mike will appreciate that. Put away a few chairs. Acknowledge others. Shake the hand of somebody and thank an educator or advisor like Liliana, Mike, Casey, Ashley. They do so much for free. Really, they do. They don't get paid that much. I used to have their job. I really do know. But it actually was one of the best jobs I've ever had. I still feel that. I think this was the best job. And not to just kiss up to Mike, but I think he's probably my best boss I've had. And thank your tutor. Similarly, they do a lot for free, and their pay is really not that much. Joel can vouch for that a little bit. But thank them. They're putting out some time for you. If they're doing a good job, thank your teacher, especially your part-time teachers, because they often work many part-time jobs in community colleges, and they do a lot of work for free. They really do. And they really don't get paid much, not like those that have the tenured track and full-time positions. And there's so many of them out there, part-time teachers. And I appreciate that because I'm a part-time teacher. But get involved in other ways in your community. Volunteer at a local charity. Gather some clothing for Salvation Army, Goodwill. Get involved and be part of a faith-based community, such as a church. Help clean up the church after an event or your faith-based community or any other place you volunteer. There's so many people who do that work for free. Again, they don't get paid much. Host a simple dinner at your house. Have a few friends over. Be hospitable. Hold open the door for somebody. Be nice to someone who's different than you are. Someone who may have a different skin color, may have an accent. Somebody who looks or maybe dresses a little different than yourself. Smile. Don't scowl. I was fortunate. I learned to be a nicer person, I think, earlier on, and because I chose to be around nicer people, they, in turn, were nice to me when I had my accident. The community of fellow physical therapists, occupational therapists, educators, neighbors, pastors, religious leaders, friends, were all there for me from day one. This was how I got better. And believe in something. David Brooks, a New York Times columnist, said in an address recently on ethics and values, life is better with God in the room versus God not in the room. That works for me. May not work for everybody. God in my story helped me a great deal. For God, for some, he or she is not part of their story, and this is okay. But have some faith that tomorrow can be better. It can be. Why did some Jewish Holocaust survivors survive that hell they were in? The few survivors often said it was because of belief that a boyfriend, girlfriend was waiting for them on the other side of the prison wall or the barbed wire fence. The few survivors often said it was that belief of wanting to see somebody again, to see that person again. For one survivor, it says there was that tree outside they saw in a distance that had leaves that gave them hope. For others, it was the kindness of another human being in the hell of their existence, in a camp that was a spark to survival versus given up. Resilience, tomorrow will be better. It may not be 100% better, but something tomorrow will be good. It may be just a smile from someone or the simple joy of a warm day versus a gray Oregon day. If you work hard, try to be a good person, this will help. For me, my accident, and it was following doctor's orders, listening to the advice of the experts in health and healing, such as my physical therapist, surgeon, and the nurses. And I allowed these other people to be kind to me. I exercised well, I ate well. My family, partner, friends, counselors were invaluable to me, and my faith that tomorrow will be better and the support of others got me better. Listen to the expertise of others. None of us have all the answers, but being open and learning more and listening that you can do it and don't give up, because life is worth living. Life can get better. Better for all of you, just as my life got better after the first day of my bike accident in January 1st. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I want Godspeed to be with all of you this day as you complete your final exams, look for work, resume your work, go on to better, greener pastures, go on to college, and congratulations to each and every one of you. And thank you for making my day a bit better.
So I just wanted to thank everybody for being here today, and actually I want to introduce myself as well. My name is Jessica Navarro. I serve as the Chemeketa Completion Program Coordinator. Chemeketa Completion Program, better known as CCP. This is our second year with this program, and this program came about because we do have a lot of students who really need those services that TRiO and our campus program offers. But either because they weren't eligible or because TRiO or camp didn't have more spots available, CCP came about. So through CCP, we're able to offer the same services to more students. So I'm very grateful. And again, this is our second year, and this is our first celebration for end of the year. And I'm glad that we've been able to team up with TRiO, the TRiO staff. And because this is our first end of the year celebration, we are going to award our first Persistence Award. So this student doesn't know she is receiving this award today, so now you know it's a female. So just bear with me. I'm going to read this from my phone, and it's really small. So I'll be quick, okay? Okay, so this student was referred to me a year ago to learn about the Chemeketa Completion Program and its services. Throughout the year, I have gotten to know a strong woman who is persistent and determined to achieve her goal no matter the obstacles. She is currently completing an Associate of Arts Oregon transfer degree, and it has not been an easy journey. The student was taking ESOL classes at Chemeketa before taking college classes. When she decided to start college classes, she was insecure due to her English skills and didn't really think she could be successful. She knew it would take a lot of effort and hours devoted to studying. Not only is she a student, she is a wife and a mother. She understands the importance of managing her time, prioritizing, and doing the work. She has had to learn how to balance it all and take responsibility of her own education. She has had to take the initiative to seek resources on campus to help her be successful, and most importantly, she avoids procrastination. She spends a lot of time in the tutoring center, the writing center, and with our college access program tutors, our CAP tutors. She was diagnosed with cancer and started chemotherapy in the middle of winter term, and regardless of her fatigue, pain, and all the side effects that comes with the treatment, she was determined to stay as a full-time student. She knew her treatment would require for her to miss classes, therefore she planned ahead and contacted her instructors, and she asked me for help to find her a math tutor. Thanks to the partnership with TRiO and CCP, she was able to schedule individualized tutoring with Melinda, and I believe Melinda's here today, one of our CAP tutors, and she was able to pass her math class. When enrolling as a full-time student, she wanted to dedicate 100% of her time to her studies And with the support of her family, she decided not to work while coming to school. This really implies, living on a tight budget. In addition to individualized tutoring, CCP has been able to help her, as many other students in CCP, reduce some of the cost of books and materials through our textbook lending library. You may ask, what inspires her to continue pursuing her goals? Why is she so determined? She knows it's not easy, but during winter term, she proved to herself she can do this by successfully completing the term while in chemotherapy. This inspires her not to give up, because her hard work will prepare her for a better job and a better future for her and her family. School has helped her stay focused and overcome anything that comes her way. She has a passion for her native language. Therefore, her goal is to become a Spanish professor at a college or a university level, in hopes to transfer to Western Oregon University in the fall of 2017 to continue her goal. So I asked this student, what is your best advice for other students on how to be successful in college? She said, don't give up, don't procrastinate, and believe in yourself. So the Persistence Award goes to Vanessa Caballero. Thank you so much. And what do we have, Ashley?
Okay, I am going to continue the theme with persistence here. It's been a few years ago, actually, that TRiO kind of started a tradition where we like to have a special student recognition, and Lisa was part of the team and behind this award that we created. It's actually called the Kimberly Johnston Persistence Award. And there I do see some others that have been awarded with this in the audience as well. I know Kimberly wished that she could be here, but she was not able to join us tonight. But in honor of her, she definitely modeled strength and determination, and she was always sharing a smile. I do remember that about Kimberly. But in spite of any barriers or obstacles, she demonstrated how one refuses to quit or step aside when life brings challenges or obstacles. So one that believes in themselves no matter what, and faces that adversity head on and just keeps going forward. Definitely a model and a true person that was persisting through many, many things in life. And I think a lot of us in the room could probably relate to that. We do have this year, we would like to recognize our student that we chose this year, but we will first share the video of this student.
Well, my official given birth name is Joe Daniel Fugate Jr., but most people here know me by Joey. It creates less confusion, especially at home. The degrees that I will be completing this June are a General in Science Associates and also a General in Studies Associates degree, along with an AAOT that I'll be using to transfer to OSU. When I first got them and actually realized I was completing my degrees, I sat in my car and cried for about 10 minutes. See, growing up through all my life, especially going through public school and different things, I was told by teachers, specifically teachers, almost verbatim, that I was too dumb to understand higher levels of learning, especially in the areas of mathematics. So naturally, I was put into special education classes. I was passed around from various teachers. I was always the kid up at the front of the class, stuck next to my desk, stuck next to the teacher's desk, so she could tell me to be quiet while everybody else was learning. Graduated with a GED. And went out, tried to just do whatever things I could find. Became a pastor for a few years, traveled the world, came home and just decided one day, you know what, I want to accomplish my dream. I've always wanted to go to college and get a degree. And my wife was a big driving force in that one too. So, and I've learned very, very, very quickly in my marriage, I don't disagree with my wife very often. Balancing school was kind of like a juggling act. You drop one thing, well, then you pick it up and you just readjust how you're doing it again. You know, lots of people babysitting my kid, doing a lot of school at 3 in the morning after doing chores around the house, helping my wife out. Good Lord, telling a lot of my friends, hey, I can't go hang out right now because I've got school. The hard part for me was having two relatives very close to me pass away almost within a month of each other. And then the whole family coming together needing, you know, because I was the guy that always gave strength to everybody, and you know, I was the pastor in the family and everybody. And I'm sitting there trying to hang on to my own stuff, trying to barely crawl through my school and taking heavy loads of math and all that stuff. Boy, challenges I overcame probably was the biggest one, was it being so ingrained in my mind that I was going to fail. When I first came to school, I literally came to school with the desire in my head and mind that I was going to prove to everybody that said that I should go to college that I was going to fail. So I could wave it in their face and tell everybody, see, all those teachers and everybody in the past were right. It shocked me to death when I started getting straight A's in all these classes, because I realized, well, wait a minute, somebody lied. I'm not as dumb as I thought I was. I can actually do this. My biggest hump was overcoming the fears and the lies I had believed in my own mind. So I was my own worst enemy to a certain degree. That was the hardest one for me. That was the huge one to overcome. Oh man, there are so many of them here at Chemeketa. I mean, just the school itself to begin with, you know, with various people in the tutoring center over at the math department up there in Building 2. So many people in there. I could name off my name. Joel, one of the tutors, he's an amazing guy there, has helped me through a bunch of stuff. The biggest one though that's had a major impact on me was the chemistry teacher, Nicholas Drapula. He was fantastic, because he would tutor me through the chemistry stuff and the math and some of the chemistry problems and different things in basic chemistry, and then we'd sit there and talk outside of class about science, some of the new advancements in science. He would ask me what classes I'm taking. He'd sit down and actually help me with some of those different classes and some of the different areas and things, and he was good. He was good. My wife constantly telling me over and over and over, you can do this, because she was from Russia, came here, didn't speak a lick of English, went through everything, had to learn in a whole learning system outside of her natural language, which is hard for any human being. Made it all the way through, graduated with her bachelor's degree, and she was always telling me, if I can do it, you can do it with no problem. People in TRiO services here, good Lord, in TRiO services. Casey, my advisor, holding my hand while I'm in a bucket of tears going, I've screwed it all up, I missed this deadline, or didn't do this right. And she was always just a smile and looking at me and telling me, hey, everything's gonna be fine, you're doing great, take a breather. She just typed those little magic keys on her computer and go, oh, hey, look, we got this, this, and this here. You can do this, sign for this, now go get it done. All of them, they've all been there helping me with some of the classes that I took with them and different things. And even though half of them aren't even my advisors, they'd catch me in the hall and be like, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? And you know, I'd gripe and complain at times, or be like, yeah, I'm doing great. And they'd encourage me and tell me to keep going forward. But yeah, without TRiO, especially without Casey helping me, I would have fallen flat on my face. There's no way I would have made it this far at all. I'm headed to OSU, and I'm gonna cram 2 years of college into 3, and then I'm going to graduate with my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, something that I've never done. I'll be the first person in my family to get a bachelor's in anything, and then I'm gonna go move on, work, change the world, turn the planet upside down. I've been around the world. I've seen some of the poorest, destitute places in the world that just break your heart. And to be able to also take that understanding and take it to different parts of the world and help them better their situation. Also to be able to take like some of our e-waste that we're using, electronic waste. People get a phone that's like, you know, 5 months old, they want the newest one, throw that one away. A lot of this technology is still good for another 10, 20 years. You can set up computer labs in Africa. You can set up, you know, engineering labs or chemistry labs in some of the other poor parts of the world and let them start competing in the global market and really open up some economies worldwide and do some good. That's what I want to do. You just started a couple terms ago. Well, first off, take all that stuff that everybody told you you're ever going to fail and flush it down the toilet, because that's about all it's worth. Take every class you can here on how to take notes, study textbooks, all that stuff, and for how to even go to college. It sounds ridiculous, sounds silly. I thought so when I got here until I started taking the classes and realized there really is almost a science to going to college and being able to succeed. And don't get discouraged, don't give up. Get a good support system, family, church, groups here at the college, whoever, people that can just sit there and tell you, look, I understand you're struggling, but you're gonna make it, you're doing great. Have some people that you can invest in that will also invest in you, that you can tell them your dream, your goals, your visions, your plans, that they can continue to remind you, because times walking through these halls, those plans start getting a little dusty and start kind of fading out, and you get more focused on the immediate. And it's good to be reminded. And then when you have the chance to take some time off and relax and catch back up with friends, just spend as much time socializing as you can, flushing away all the worries and fears and all the frustrations of the previous term, and you do fantastic.
You could please come up.
And also that he's graduating with an AOT and graduating to OSU. I feel so bad about that mother.
Well, I think you see why I love my job, right? This is truly a blessing to be part of what happens here, and to see so many people really going for it in their lives. We talk in our program, we teach in the FYE class about the whole idea of victims and creators. This is a room full of creators. This is a room full of people who are taking the opportunity in their lives and creating what they want of their lives. Wow, it's awesome. I love that I get to work with such a great team. These are the people that haven't really gotten recognized tonight, but all of the staff here, you know, I don't get to have the wonderful job that I have without a really great group of people. So can you guys give the TRiO and CCP staff a hand? Because this is what really, they do go above and beyond, every one of them. And so I could talk a lot about a whole bunch of things here, except that it's time for us to have dessert. So what I want to do is dismiss us to outside here. We've got dessert set up. So there should be enough for everybody to have, you know, a couple of things. Don't jump in the front and take it all. Let everybody have some. Spread out, take some time. There's a microphone set up out there. So we've talked a bunch. If you have something that you want to say, feel free to grab the microphone. We have to keep it kind of quiet because there are other events happening, and so we can't really like go, oh yes, and we're doing pantomime here. And there's a photo booth out there. So if you have, you know, the person you came with, some friends here, just by yourself, you can get in the photo booth and get a picture. But thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of making, you know, our program's such a special thing to be part of. It really is you guys that make it such a great thing. So let's go enjoy some dessert, stay, talk, have fun. Congratulations. Way to go, everybody.